Deadline. Are you scared? The word alone causes stress and panic for many people. But if a deadline really so terrifying, it can actually become an ally if we don't go to extremes. First of all, what is it? A deadline is simply a final due date for completing a task. And the final due date, of course, brings stress. But it also helps us focus and eliminate unnecessary distractions. Remember that moment before an exam when you suddenly found the strength to study? We are all a little like superheroes in these moments, aren't we? At such times, it feels like we gain superpowers. But there's a flip side. In desperation, we might resort to cheating, copying during exams, or submitting rushed, poorly done project, or even buying work from someone else. This often leaves a bitter aftertaste. And if the deception is uncovered, now that is a true nightmare. Yes, deadlines are often imposed on us by teachers, bosses, and others. But we can set them for ourselves too. If you have an important goal or task, you need to set a proper deadline. Give yourself just the right amount of time, accounting for breaks and unforeseen circumstances, like illness, for example. But don't make it too long, or you might lose the focus. And most importantly, don't move the deadline. Doing so defeats the whole purpose. If it can be postponed, it's no longer a deadline. It's a kinda jump line or what? But it's no longer a deadline. When we move a deadline, we lose respect for our goals. It feels like we have more time, but that's a trap. The more we delay, the more chaos we invite. For example, if you tell yourself, I'll finish writing the book someday, you'll probably start working on it someday. But only where there aren't more important things to do. Unfortunately, there will always be more important things. A friend might invite you shopping. Have you heard? There are huge sales right now, you should hurry up! Hold on, I'll be there. Or you'll find the disc with your favorite game. Or lose hours scrolling through social media. The word someday makes the task seem completely unimportant. And I fall into this trap myself. At school we were given a project for the semester, any project of our choosing. I chose to create a beaded embroidery piece. I asked my grandmother to bring me a small embroidery kit from Kiev. I told her it was for school. I was thinking it seems obvious that if my grandmother was coming from the capital, she'd bring the most beautiful small piece. But I've a little miscalculated. In my grandmother's understanding, the small meant a large piece with minimal embroidery, like this one. When I saw this little kit, I was terrified by the amount of work it required. It was a paradox. I had to move toward my goal, but I was too scared to start. I had 3 months to complete it. Actually 4, but I waited for a month for the kit to arrive. It was a mistake. And of course, I kept procrastinating, only working on it during craft lessons at school. By December, I was horrified to realize I'd only completed 10%. I had to buckle down, working from the morning till late at night for 4 days straight. In that time, I managed to finish a third of the piece. But what a cost! My back ached with every movement, my eyes were dry, and in the end I got sick. On one hand, I felt relieved. I had a legitimate excuse to rest. But on the other hand, the project still had to be finished. And there was no one to ask for help. My mom didn't know how to embroider, and my brother certainly couldn't help. During the second week of my illness, I divided the remaining work over 7 days. And I made it. And in the end, I received the highest grade for the sheer volume of work I've done. At first, my teacher didn't believe I'd done it myself, but my classmates vouched for me. Especially girls, yeah. They knew that I liked handmade, so they vouched for me. And what did this experience teach me? First, if you want something done right, please do it yourself. I should have bought the embroidery kit myself and chosen the right size. Second, big deadlines should be broken into small ones. If you wait until the last minute, you'll end up rushing to finish everything. Third, overloading yourself and mismanaging your energy can harm your health. And unfortunately, a cold might be not the worst one. Illnesses often forces us to slow down. That's natural. Our bodies need to recover. But even in such moment, I try not to drop out of my routine entirely. Seriously, if it weren't, that video wouldn't exist. I'm too much anxious for that. Despite having a month's worth of perfumed videos and scheduled uploads, I always worry that my content will run out and my channel will go silent. But I'm doing all this for you! And that's the dilemma. Recover properly or create low-quality content while slowly getting better. I've managed to find a compromise with my anxiety. If I can't film, I write scripts like this one or edit videos. This helps me feel like I'm still moving forward. Well, at least something, but don't forget that bloggers require stability and our life will sooner or later over and the real deadline will come. A deadline isn't an enemy if you know how to work with it. Yes, it sometimes activates our superpowers, but the balance is the key so the deadline doesn't become a source of despair or dishonesty. And how do you deal with deadlines? Share with me stories in the comments below, and I will see you in the next or previous videos. Bye bye, see you later.